Do you need to masturbate? Is masturbation healthy? Let's talk about masturbation, guys. So if you clicked on this video and you want to talk about masturbation with another guy, then good for you. And let's learn about this, because is masturbation actually essential? And is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Is it just neutral? Is it just what it is? Let's talk about it. Hi guys, my name is Alex and I'm a sex coach, and today we're talking masturbation. So, is masturbation good? No. Is masturbation bad though? No. Masturbation kind of is what it is. I would say it actually leans more toward being good than bad. And I think what makes it bad is the kind of traps it can put you in, where if you masturbate too often, it will drain your sexual energy and you won't want to have real life sex, and that's not good. And if it becomes a habit or an addiction, then obviously that's not good, because then again it's draining your sexual energy and it's causing you to forego, possibly not by choice, but just by the nature of it, it's causing you to forego real life sexual partners for autoerotic stimulation. So that's what kind of makes it bad. What makes it good, I would say, is, I guess, because it's a de-stressor if used sparingly, and it can really teach you about who you are sexually. To a degree, it can teach you what you like physically, but if you've watched my channel for any length of time, what you like physically is only a small portion of what makes good sex. Good sex is way more about the psychological aspect of it. So it's about where your focus is during sex. If you're psychologically present in the sexual experience, that is what makes sex good, not necessarily the physical stimulation that's happening. If the physical stimulation is so good that it forces you to be immersed in the experience and engaged in the experience, then that's great. That's still psychological stimulation though. And so masturbation can only tell you kind of broadly what you like physically, but then again, it's also not the same as real life sex physically. It's not the same sensation as real life sex, so that it can only really go that far. So what happens if you stop masturbating? Does your life end? Can you? Should you? So what happens? Absolutely nothing, except possibly you want real life sex more, you are horny more often, and to me that is a good thing. In terms of like semen retention or stuff like that, or hormone balance, that stuff is kind of still debated, and I think the amount of benefit that you would get from it, like in terms of getting more testosterone, I think is so minuscule and so fleeting that it won't really make a difference in your life that much. So in terms of semen retention, it's not that useful. I think the main thing is that you don't want to be masturbating your sexual energy away and your sexual drive away and reducing your libido for real life sexual partners, because that's what your goal should be. Your goal should be to be having sex with real life people, because that experience is so much more fulfilling and amazing, and you get to connect with someone on such a deeper level than you'll ever connect with yourself and your hand. So there you go with that. If masturbation becomes an addiction or a habit or compulsory, and you're pairing it with porn, it can really become a problem. So it's almost kind of leans toward the negative side, because you have to be careful with this. And it's so easy, especially for guys, to just masturbate and kind of sneak off and do your thing, and then it was over, and then you're done. And because it's so easy, and because we pair it with porn, it can become this dangerous habit and an addiction that we cling to and we can't necessarily get rid of easily. And so for that reason, masturbation could be a bad thing if you don't have it under control. So masturbation is, if you have not masturbated before, then possibly you can learn about your body. And you probably should learn about your body, but for most people, we've been masturbating a lot, and you could do without it. And it's not going to do that much for you if you go without it. It's not going to do much for you beneficially, and it's not going to do much for you negatively. It's just, it is what it is. It can be a time suck, and it can reduce your libido and your drive to meet real-life sexual partners. But other than that, it's just kind of this neutral thing. So my thing is that if you are in a sexual relationship then why do you need to masturbate? You shouldn't really need to. And if you find that you're masturbating only with porn, and it's not like a sexual thing that you're missing out on, and it's just linked with porn, because porn and masturbation are so closely linked, then I would say don't do that, and you could have a problem, and you could have a porn addiction. And that would be much worse than just masturbating if you actually had a really high sex drive that just wasn't kind of compatible with your partner's sex drive. But in terms of masturbation, the benefits that you will get from semen retention or nofap or all that kind of stuff are kind of minimal, and they're not going to the amount of testosterone you get is not going to make you build a ton of muscle and be extremely jacked after a week of not masturbating. And these studies have found that your testosterone will spike after a week and then it'll drop back to what it was. So I guess don't masturbate for a week and then you'll have that spike and it won't do anything. So there you have it. If masturbation is becoming a time suck, it's causing you to procrastinate, or it's something that you do compulsively out of habit, out of boredom, then maybe it's time to stop. But for the most part, it's just kind of a neutral thing. If it's draining your sexual libido or your sexual attraction to real-life partners, then yeah, definitely stop. And if it's so closely linked to porn that you're only doing it when you watch porn, then you could have a bigger problem with that porn addiction, and porn addiction is not good. It's going to cause a lot of sexual dysfunction and a lot of dysfunction just in general. So there you go. Now we have talked about masturbation, so we can all go on with our lives and forget this awkward video ever happened, right? So that's basically it. Masturbation, that's all that needs to be said about it. Do it if you want, unless it's causing a negative impact in your life. And be honest with yourself if it is or isn't. But for the most part, it's whatever. So if you found this video informative and you liked it and you like talking about masturbation with me, then leave me a like, let me know, leave me a comment, ask me any question you want, and I'll respond to all the comments down there. And don't forget to subscribe because I put out daily sexual advice, relationship advice from a psychology perspective, not the typical sex and relationship advice that you probably see on the internet. So come back for more of that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.